Make the change, rearrange, and life seems strange, but you gotta keep your aim, stay focused on the game, don't quit. Quitters never win.
And we are live, another episode of Empowering Monday, and today I have a very special guest actually, Justin Breen, Mr. Connector of LinkedIn that connected me with so many amazing people, I would say. A visionary peer entrepreneur, global connector, I can testify to that. A strategic coach, Abundance 360, EO Chicago, Kolbe, best-selling author, and Polymath from Great Chicago area. Welcome to Empowering Monday, Mr. Justin Breen.
Happy Monday, my friend. This is very exciting for me. You're a good dude.
Thank you, my friend. And I remember when we met, it was like, first you were on, let me see. Yeah, you were on Brian Wallace, actually. That is another amazing man, I would say, that I follow a lot. Like he has his like Friday show.
Yep.
That I like to watch. Now, because of the children, I usually miss it, so then I have to watch it on replay, but I usually do that because he always has some amazing things, right? And then you were on, and I was like, I have to talk with this Justin, and then we talked, and you gave me so many amazing contacts. I think like Jose Ochoa came from you, actually, I think. And me and Jose Ochoa, we have become like they are, like we are like brothers. Like
right. That's how my brain works.
Yeah, man. So tell us, before I ask you the big question, tell us the connecting thing. Like, how do you do that? How do you you just connect people and just magic, you know?
Yeah. So people are born with gifts, and most people are miserable because they never find it out. And if they do find out, they never do anything about it. So I just know what I'm a genius at, and I just do it 100% of the day. So I can talk to someone in Norway and they'll immediately say something. I'll be like, oh, I know someone on the Mexico border who lives in Texas, New Mexico area. And then I'll connect them. And a week later, they'll be like, I don't know how you did that. We're best friends now. So what you just said, that happens dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens of times a week. That's how my brain works.
And you do it really good, my friend. I also gave you some connection. Which one of my connections?
Jose Perez. Love that dude. Love him.
Yeah, he's amazing, right?
Right.
He's amazing. The last time I have to give Justin something amazing. So I was like thinking, and then I was like, okay, I have the man for you. So I'm so happy that I could do the same back, you know. I'm learning from the master how to connect. And you have so many things going on, like author, like you did an amazing article, like you're doing so many great things. What is the thing that today you would say like is your biggest passion, if you could describe that?
Oh, hang out with my children. That's easy. I just like to hang out with my kids, and all this does is allow me to hang out with my kids more. That's it.
I totally agree on that. Even if my son is quite challenging at some times, but it's amazing, you know, like how quickly we adapt, you know, to become like parents.
Well, I know a lot of billionaires and gajillionaires, and not all the time, but many times I ask them, so how's your family, or, what is your family up to? And they'll say, well, I never had a family, or I never was involved in my family because I was working on my business. And you hear or see the pain in their eyes, or when they talk, and I'm just not one of those people. I never will be. Having a very successful company, I'm very thankful for that, but I'm really thankful because it's just allowed me to, before COVID, I spent more time with my children than any dad I'd ever met. Now I just spend more time with them. So that's all that matters. And my entire baseline for life is if I meet someone and I immediately know, because all I do is talk to the highest people, the top people in the world, but in case they're not one of those people, I'll meet someone and I'll immediately know that if they're going to annoy me or take away time from my children, I'll never talk to that person again. So most people don't have the courage to be like that. I just know that immediately. I just want to hang out with people that are going to add value to my life and my brain, and then won't take away time from my children. That's it.
Time awareness is so important. It's so important.
Yep.
And what I like about you, Justin, like of the things that you write and the things that you do, like for me, you're a man that lives his inner self the whole way, I would say. It's like you're carrying it, and I truly believe that to be fulfilled in this life, you need to live by your inner self, you need to be who you truly are, like as much as you can,
Right.
So,
yeah, that's it.
And the thing is that for me, that I think is so. Many of the things that you talk about, I would say that I can like say, yeah, that is true, because we all experience that when we start the journey, right? Is that you don't learn this at like incubator. Like you can go to the best MBA in the world, you will not learn these things. Like you need to grind it.
MBA? No. Yeah. So my kids are 8 and 6. I only have one thing that's a requirement, one deal breaker. I'm sure they will go to college. I don't care if they do or not, but if they do, the only deal breaker is they must take entrepreneurial classes taught by actual entrepreneurs, not someone who's been, ivory tower, not in real life for the last 30 years, because those people have no idea what's going on outside that ivory tower. So that's the only deal breaker that I have, only qualifier. And my 8-year-old started his first business when he was 7, and my 6-year-old wants to be a Navy SEAL. So they're pretty type A like me. And my wife's a pediatrician, so I'm sure they'll go to college. But that's it. Other than that, I don't care what they do, but they just need to understand how the real world actually works before they enter the real world.
And that is what I'm missing. This is what I'm saying like now, is that for me, like MBA, what is that? Like management, business administration. Like how much management administration do you do as an entrepreneur? We outsource that. We don't do that. What you should learn is leadership, mindset, how to make people believe, and how to like grind. You need to grind. Like you can't study to grinding, I would say.
Yeah. So people go to me all the time and like, oh, wow, your company's doing so great. You're so successful. I'm like, well, I'm very thankful for that. But they didn't see me at 3 a.m. with 0 clients and 0 revenue when I first started this. They didn't see when I had to reach out to 5,000 people to get my first 5 clients. They didn't see the fact that I spent 20 years building a foundation in journalism. So I had this knowledge and this gift to easily do what my company does now. And they didn't see that. And no one sees that. And, people want these results, right? They want the results, but they won't do, for the most part, they won't do what it takes to get there. They won't grind it out. They won't put in the 2 years of work. They won't do it. That's why most people aren't entrepreneurs. And that's why really most people aren't high level entrepreneurs, because they won't do what it takes. And the only people I hang out with are ones that will do what it takes. And the setbacks that they have, they just use it as fuel. There are no excuses. People with the wrong mindset, they make excuses. There are no excuses. People with the right mindset, they just make the investment. Whether you're dirt broke or a billionaire, you make the investment, because there are no excuses at this level. None
whatsoever. I will tell you, my schedule is like I go up at 5 or 6. I do the package, like food for the children, fix the clothes. My wife, she has a back injury, so she can't do so much lifting, right? So then I try to get into kindergarten before 8, so I can be back. And then I start to work until like 4 latest. And then I go and get the children. And then I try to avoid any computer time, avoid just focusing on them, I would say, until, let's say, like if they fall asleep at 8, I'm very happy. My wife, she has a good back day. So now I could actually start with you like at 8, just a little over, right? But this is the thing. As soon as they sleep, then I do my night shift. That is like
entrepreneur life. Figure it out.
And then I do it every day, except the weekend days is for my children, and that's solely for me. I don't mix. And this is what I realized, what I like so much, what you preach, like, I like so much what you're saying, because that is reality. Like, do I want to die rich and alone, or do I want to die successful, peace of mind, and having a family, like children that really likes you, for me, I don't even like, it's not even a debate to have, as I see.
Yeah, so a good quote that a friend told me is, you don't want to be the richest guy in the cemetery. So pretty simple, right? So great, rich. And again, I know a lot of gajillionaires. And so my company's insanely profitable, and I spend a lot of time with my family. I think that's why people are fascinated by my weird brain, because like I have both. And this is how I've done it, by just being incredibly direct. Directness weeds out nonsense and attracts greatness. I'll say that again. Directness weeds out nonsense and attracts greatness. And then I know who I am. I know who the people I hang out with. I know the people that aren't going to ask, what do you cost? People in my network don't ask, what do you cost? They say, what does an investment with you look like? So I know who I am, but then I also know who I'm not. I really know who I'm not. I'm not a nickel and dime person. I'm not someone who asks, what do you cost or charge? I'm someone who looks at things only as investments, and I only have abundance, and I'm a visionary. So I'm not satisfied with the status quo. It'll always be looking for something cooler, something greater, not because I'm unsatisfied with my life now. It's because there's so much cooler things that can be done. I'll give you an example. This week, I, for lack of a better term, networked with someone on virtual reality Oculus glasses. So I met him I was an avatar meeting in his virtual reality room that he created, and we were talking and moving around the room with our little joysticks. It's incredible. And I need to be in a room, whether it's a real room or a Zoom room or a virtual VR room. I need to be in a room with those people because those are the only ones that understand what I'm talking about. And they're the only ones that have the mindset where they'll just make an investment. They're not going to ask, what do you cost? They'll just make the investment. And those are the ones that are changing the world. They're the 0.1% of mindsets. They're the 8 million people who employ the 8 billion. They're the one out of 1,000 that employ the other 999. So those are the only people I partner with.
I would say that you're the most direct person that I know on LinkedIn, I would say. I find that so refreshing, you know?
Yeah, well, because otherwise, these people talk, right? They just talk. And there's nothing behind it, nothing. I love people that have these really nice studios, the fancy makeup and the microphone. And a lot of that stuff's just bull. I mean, some of them are very successful, but a lot of it's just bull. And, I'm just sitting here in my living room, t-shirt, cap. The people at the highest level don't care about any of that stuff. They just want results. All they want is results. And that's all my company does. It just gets results, and it cuts through all the nonsense. I immediately know when someone's a wannabe, and they'll never be a player. They're wannabe. They talk all this stuff, but they're not going to make the investment to do that. They're just going to talk. And I have no time for time vampires. I have no time to waste time. And so I just hang out with the people that get it. And then those people just introduce me to more people who get it. And that's really all my company is. It's tens of thousands of people at the highest level on a global level who just get it. And so there's no sales, there's no funnels, there's none of that marketing gimmick nonsense. It's just creating value at the highest level, and then people create value for me. So I intro you to 1 million people just because I like you and you get it, and you intro me to great people. That's it. That's
it, man. That's it. Usually I get this question when I'm this kind of panel debate with entrepreneurs. Somebody, sooner or later, they will ask me if I go to enough of these events. They will like, Eduardo, you think I should read an MBA or not? Then I would like to tell them like that. You know what you can do? It will cost you like how much? It's like $200,000 or something, right? I would say, you know what you can do? You can like book like 2 hours with, I will give you the list. Justin Breen, pay him good, and all these people, right? Pick. Brian Wallace also, I would say. And that will give you 100 things back that you will not learn on that school. That is how it is, because right. These are the people that done the journey. They are not, how can I say, they're not talking the talk. They're actually walking.
No, they're doing it. That's what I mean. So you're interviewing me, and I appreciate that. So I'm talking a lot. But in reality, I don't talk. I barely say anything. I'm just like, there's just results. And my strength finders, Gallup Strength Finders, GALLUP, my top two strength finders, which is pretty rare, by the way. It's activator, maximizer. So 0 to 20% activate at the highest level, 80 to 100% maximize all that. And then in between, it's activate, maximize, activate, maximize. And so that's it. It's just, there's no need to say anything. Let's just do this and get results. That's all people want. They don't even want to talk. They just want to get it done. These high-level entrepreneurs, they're doing 1 million things. They just want to hire someone who is just going to get them results. And, me personally, if I'm not exceptionally good at something or I don't like to do it, I don't do it, or I find the best person in the world to do it. Because why would I do something that I'm not good at or that I don't like to do? That doesn't make any, that's just nonsense. So I get these questions sometimes like, oh, so the things you're telling me, should I try to do those myself? I go, why would you try to do that yourself? You don't have 20 years in journalism. You don't have thousands of relationships. Why would you do that? And again, that's someone who's a wannabe that's pretending to be something that they're never going to be because they're not willing to invest. They just want to talk and try to, take your ideas and do them yourself. And that is not going to work. I can barely install a light bulb. I hire people to do everything that I can't do because that's the only way. It's the only way. You know your strengths, but you really know your weaknesses. And I'm mostly weaknesses. And I just fill the gaps to fill all those weaknesses. Problem solved.
That is like my first lesson when I coach this so-called future entrepreneurs. That is mapping what you just said, because I one of the mistakes I did in the beginning, I started like 20 years ago was my first venture, I would say. And then I had this mentor, and he was from big corporate. He had been like the director of this like Navy ship thing in like on a very big level, right? And then he said something, Eduardo, now you're a CEO, so now you need to learn all this stuff, right? So he started to talk about everything that I suck at, So what happened is that I tried to do that, right? Because I believe that maybe he's correct. That is what I need to do as a CEO. So I started to do these things that I'm really bad at,
How did that go?
I was fired. Yeah, of course it didn't work, right? I got stressed. I couldn't sleep. Like it was just pain, And then no, I will not do this. We need to hire people that do that because the reason that I do what I do is because I focus on my strength. People follow me or want to work with me because of my strength, not of my weakness. I would fire myself on my weakness, I would say, without a problem.
Right. I mean, so like things that a trained monkey can do, a dumb monkey can do. I either can't do them or I can barely do them. So my sons are 6 and 8. They'll like, Dad, hey, can you help us build a Lego set or follow directions? I go, I can't do that. It will cause immense stress. I can't do it. I want to do it, but I can't. It's impossible. It's almost impossible for me. And why you just can't? You don't keep trying to do something if you're horrendously bad at it, and it causes immense stress. Like that just doesn't. So I just stay in my zone of genius 100% of my day, not 99%, 100% of the day. And people just. Entrepreneurs, they try to be everything for everyone, right? They try to be everything for everyone, a lot of them. And I'm just one, my company's one of the highest level genius superpower thing for one type of person. That's it.
You're doing amazing work, my friend. So were you always like this, or like, did you know that you would be here today? Let's say like when you were like 12 or 10, or like, when did it start for you to walk into the direction where you are today?
No. Yeah, so you're either born an entrepreneur or you're not. Most people are not born entrepreneurs. That's why they fizzle out or they get a job or they just can't do this because you're not born to be this person. So I was always born to be this person. I just didn't know it until I started doing it. And so I'll give you the quick timeline. I was working full-time as a journalist, February 10th, 2017, so 4 years ago. I had a 5-minute meeting with the company's managing editor and owner, and they cut my job salary in half, not to do any, I didn't do anything wrong. It's just journalism. That's what happens. So I tried to find a full-time job, couldn't find a job, incorporated my company, which is called Brepic, April 16th, 2017. Over the next 6 weeks, I reached out to 5,000 people to get my first 5 clients. So 1 out of 1,000 said yes, 999 no's for every yes. I got the 5th client on June 1st, 2017, resigned June 2nd. And then June 5th, Robert Feeder, who's the top media columnist in the Midwest of the United States, did a story. I'd started my own firm. So that was just to get the company started. 95, 96, 97% of people they just cannot do that. They wouldn't even think about doing that, let alone even trying and then executing it. For me, you just do it. There are no excuses. You just do it. You get it done. And so that was just to get started. And, the other thing, and I'm guessing you want to talk about this, is in October of 2020, and Inc. magazine just did a really nice article about this. I posted a thing on social media that this is really what separates entrepreneurs from humans, because entrepreneurs they're not really human. So I have not met one entrepreneur at the very highest level. I'm not talking nickel and dime business. I'm talking about the highest level type person. And I have 5 to 10 conversations with people like that every Monday through Friday. So all I do is simplify and see patterns. I hear blah, 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 and see a pattern. So I haven't met one of those people that has not overcome at least one of the following 4 things. At least one, most are 2 or 3, and some are all 4. So here it is. Entrepreneur life, right? Sunshine, rainbows, ha, 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 ha. So the 4 things are: 1 is bankruptcy or potential bankruptcy. 2, depression. 3, the highest level of anxiety that you can imagine. And 4, likely and or possible traumatic experiences as a child or young adult. So I haven't met one that hasn't overcome at least one of those. And I know of some that are all 4, and the all 4 ones are really successful. But that's entrepreneur life. So most people can't handle that. They just can't. They make an excuse. And in entrepreneur life, there are no excuses, only investment, period.
I check on all that boxes, but I
Right.
can only say that on the depression, I did actually a burnout also. That was not fun to do. I had 8 months of clinical depression.
Right.
Before the depression, I was invited to this like high society dinner, blah blah. 2 months after, I'm lying in my father's sofa for 8 months in a big depression. I wake up, lost everything, and I even have minors actually. I had to start for work again, you know. But I decided to do it. You know, for me there was no option. Either now I say like this. It's like this is the thing that you just said is so important to understand. Is that I try to be like humble when I say this, but the thing is that most entrepreneurs, they have actually a genetic kind of set that will wake up either in university or either later on in career maybe, but they have something. Like you said, you know, it's different from the rest. And
Yeah,
and that is what I'm saying, that you can't go to MBA and expect to become Steve Jobs. It doesn't work like that. He was born like that. He just
100%.
needed the right environment, and that is what triggered him to open himself. It's almost like a flower, right? He like, puff, he has opened himself, but he was that flower, and he's like 1 out of like, I don't know how many, right? So like it's the matrix, right? So and that is the thing, you know, that I try to tell people, you know, like when you have it, and you don't, this is what saddens me. I have seen people that have it, but for some reason they are afraid.
They don't do it.
They don't do it, man. And I have a friend.
So they don't have it then. That's my point. Then they don't have it.
They don't have it.
Because the people that have it will do it. That's what I'm saying. That's what separates. That's what I mean. There are no excuses. So I talk to a lot of people like that. They could be great entrepreneurs, but they're afraid to do it. So they're not great entrepreneurs. And so that's what I mean. Like people with the wrong mindset, they will just make excuses. There are no excuses. I feel bad that you were lying on your couch for 8 months. Okay, get off the couch. And you know, on the Strength Finders, I'm 34 out of 34, dead last in empathy. But I was a little surprised by that because people like you, the highest level thinkers, I'm actually very empathetic. I just have zero empathy for 99.9% of people because I don't understand what they're complaining about. I don't understand why you're making excuses. There are no excuses. There are no excuses. And, you know, I'll tell you why I was genetically programmed for this, right? Like this is in my blood, right? This is not hard for me. Even though it's hard, it's natural for me. So my father, when I was born, was 61 and my mom was 27. So there's a 34-year difference. And so my father, if he was alive, he'd be 105 now. And he was a soldier in World War II. He was an attorney in the Nuremberg trials, soldier in Korean War too. And so I don't care a lot about material things, or, you know, as you can tell, I'm in a t-shirt and a hat, but like, you know, so he kept a diary of his experiences fighting in the Battle of the Hürtgen Forest, which was a very deadly battle, Belgium, Germany. And somehow he kept a diary of that. So I found it after he died. He died when I was 13. And this diary is it's the most beautiful, well-written thing ever. So you got to keep in mind, he's in a foxhole. Nazis are firing things at him. It's raining. Oh, whatever. Write the diary. And I write exactly like he does. Boom, 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 boom. Inform and entertain. Inform and entertain. Results, results. No fluff, garbage. Just inform and entertain. And so that's half of my brain, right? That's in me. He became the president of an insurance company. He and his brothers all served actively in World War II. They came from nothing. They lived in a little tailor shop in a little tiny Illinois town. It came from nothing. And so that's half my brain. Then my mom, she was 27. So the 34-year difference, how did that happen? So my father was driving on an expressway near Chicago, and a drunk driver came across the median and hit him head on. And the drunk driver was killed instantly. My dad should have been killed, but he's, he's a superhero. So he broke every bone in his body, and then my mom was his nurse. My mom literally nursed him back to health, and then they got married and they had me. And so all I do all day is talk to the highest performing entrepreneurs in the world. I have never met anyone in my entire life with more hustle than my mom, ever. She's number one. So my mom has endless hustle. It's incredible. She has immense more hustle than I do. The things she's been through, I don't know how she did it, but because she has endless hustle. And then my father, genius, Nuremberg trial, kept a diary in World War II, getting shot at by Nazis. So that I'm programmed to be like this. It's in my blood, literally, to story brain, hustle brain, results brain. No excuses brain. No excuses. On the battlefield, what my mom went through, you get hit by a drunk driver, you break every bone in your body, whatever. Figure it out. So that's why I have no empathy. I don't understand why you wouldn't just do it and not make an excuse. I don't understand that.
Have you ever been in a situation where you felt that maybe I shouldn't have been so direct now?
No, never. Nope, because the people who understand it are the highest performing people on the planet. And the ones that don't understand it think I come off as arrogant, and it's the exact opposite as arrogance. It's just confidence. People who are arrogant think they're great at everything, and I'm actually terrible at almost everything. So people with the wrong mindset think it's arrogant, and they're the ones that are actually arrogant. I'm just confident in what I'm exceptionally good at, and I know I'm useless to society at basically everything besides my superpowers. So no, that's the other thing. Most people are afraid to admit their confidence. They're not willing to be who they are, and I am. And all that does is attract other confident people, and those people are running the most successful companies on earth, or they're going to be one of those people. All it is confidence and mindset. So absolutely not. Why would I? And trust me, the other confident people, they think the same exact way.
For me, you're a breath of fresh air, as they say.
Right, that's what I mean. They're like, oh, I wish. So let me give you an example. I'll give you an example. So one of my newer clients, he's a college dropout. He can barely read. He owns 8 companies. I literally met him for 2 seconds, told him what I did. He goes, oh, okay, let's go. He sent him the contract, signed it, paid me. I go, he goes to me, why aren't there more people like you? I go, well, why aren't there more people like you? Why don't you just, it's because there aren't, because people make excuses. This guy just made the investment. He can barely read. Who cares? Because that's not, again, the people that understand what I'm talking about will understand. And the people that don't, I don't care, because they're the ones that are going to take a time away from me and my children. So it doesn't matter to me.
I know when you talk. So how do you use your like your superpower? Is there in another way that, like, in some other areas that you can, like, you see that, okay, here is actually a really good advantage also beside entrepreneurship?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. No one's ever asked me that before. Let me explain it like this. So I'm 100% simplifier, meaning I hear all these things. I just hear things, right? I hear blah, 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 and then I can immediately simplify it into a story that media wants to do and the general public actually cares about, okay? So I can simplify that. I can simplify you saying blah, 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 and be like, oh, I know Jose, he'd be a great intro. Immediately. It's so easy for people. Are like, how do you do that? I go, I don't know. It's easy for me. So I simplify everything. My business multiplies and amplifies all of that simplification. So it takes this stuff and then just multiplies it to the world. It takes this and multiplies connectivity to the world. But at my core, I just simplify everything. I simplify who I want to hang out with. I simplify who I don't want to hang out with. I simplify the type of people that are in my life. I simplify my family time, everything is simplified. Everything is less is more, less is more, less is more, less is more. Avoid the nonsense, avoid the noise, all of that. So basically, I guess to answer your question, everything in my life is simplified. So everything. I was talking to this guy. This guy's a major Hollywood producer type. So he works with people like Lady Gaga and all that. So he's doing a challenge with people, trying to get them into patterns and habits in over like 3 months or whatever. So he goes, "Oh, what do you think about that?" I go, you don't understand. My entire life is patterns and habits. That's all it is. I wake up every morning. The first thing I do is a gratitude journal for my wife. I write what I'm thankful for her the previous day. Then it's a habit of running outside 6 days a week, no matter the weather condition. I've been doing that for almost 20 years. We live in Chicago, so it's very cold here in the winter. Whatever, just run outside. It's a pattern and habit of talking to the right people that I want to talk to and eliminating everything else. It's a pattern and habit of finding the right media outlets and podcasts and all that stuff for my clients. And then I end the day with a grateful journal on LinkedIn, where I have 25,000 followers who I'm grateful for that day, who I've met. And I'll tag you in this, and then tagging people in it. That's it. There's no, and then just spending time with my family. So there's no like this nonsense that time distraction. No, it's all patterns and habits. And there's really bad patterns and habits, right? Like laying on your couch for 8 months, that's a bad pattern and habit. And I'm glad you don't do that anymore. I'm very thankful for that. But there's all these things I do. It's all good patterns and habits, all of them.
Yeah, but I would not call that a pattern, because I had a major clinical depression that I couldn't kick off. So that was
and here's the thing is that, but you overcame that. You overcame it. And you eventually realized, listen, I've got to get off that couch. And I can't tell you how happy I am for you, because most people would have stayed on that couch. You got off the couch.
Every day for me was a battle. I want to get out. Like I have to recover the time that I lost, because I was seeing everything falling, like for me, it was falling down, everything around me. And for me, it was very simple. I will come back. Like there was nothing like, now, I failed in life. Now I will never be coming back. I would just, I don't know, like you say, lie in the sofa. No way, man, because that's the thing that we are. Like we can't deny it. Like you say, we need to live it. It's. I would say it's like destiny. You find your destiny, you live it all the way. I would like to read something from your bio that I like so much.
Okay.
It's Richard Mulholland.
Yeah, he just posted that today. He just posted it today.
He wrote something that I like so much, because it's so much like you, I would say. He says, 10 minutes after meeting Justin, I knew that I needed him to help my business. Right. He's more connected than a fishing net and has the ability to make you just the right introduction at the just right time. And I love that. You should have that as a quote on your website, my friend. That is so good.
Yeah, so I don't believe in randomness. He literally posted that a couple hours ago. And so Richard Mulholland, right? Okay, that's a name, right? So Richard Mulholland is the CEO of Africa's top speaking company. Okay, so they've been a client. I'm very thankful for that. So I live in Chicago. One of my clients is Africa's largest speaking company. Why are they a client? Why were they a client? One, because Richard and I immediately knew that we'd work together, because he's the only type of person I work with. And two, when COVID happened, speaking is very hard to do when there's COVID. So instead of panicking or making an excuse, they just made an investment, and they pivoted and created an entire new global platform where it helps speakers on a global level incentivize and make income off their speeches on a global level in a virtual setting. So that's what I mean. Those are the only people I work with. They don't have to have giant companies like that, but they have to have that mindset. So you read that. It's perfect, because that's what I mean. So again, a lot of people talk. There's nothing behind it. This is my entire life, is working with people like that who get it. And he's incredibly accomplished and very successful. And so I'm either working with someone like that, or it's someone who's going to be like that, and they have the mindset to make the investment because they know they're going to be like that. They're not going to make an excuse. They're just going to make an investment.
Mindset, so important, I would say. So
number
important.
One. It's number one.
people don't like when I say this. People like to think I'm joking, but this is a fact. Maybe through my career, I hired directly or indirectly like 100 person. I never looked at their grades. I never looked what school
Great.
they went to. For me, it's just mindset. Like, who are you? Why do you want to be here? Like, why should we work together? I want to know, like, what is your passion? Like, because I will walk the mile with you. If you need to work all night, I will be here with you. Make no mistake about it, you know. So I want to know, who are you, you know. Not what school you went to. Doesn't tell me anything. Like, I don't want to be rude to people like that. Put all this money to go to Harvard, but for me it says nothing. You know, it says absolutely nothing. Like, what are you willing to, like you say, what are you willing to sacrifice to reach whatever you want to reach in life? You know, because I'm willing to risk it all. You know, except my family. That's
except your family.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, and there's a lot of entrepreneurs that are willing to risk it all, and I'm not that. I will never be that person. But let me dovetail that, because that was very profound, what you just said. So I got a 32 on my ACT. That's good. That's really good. Full academic scholarship to the University of Illinois. So I have a brain, right? Never heard the word entrepreneur in college. Never heard the word entrepreneur growing up. Never. Not one time. And none of that's why the only thing my sons have to do is take entrepreneurial. That's the only thing I care about, is they must take entrepreneurial classes taught by actual entrepreneurs. Okay, so that's great. The other thing you said is mindset. So it's number one, because all I do is hear blah, blah, blah and simplify and see patterns. And the very most important number one pattern, here it is. All this other stuff is nonsense, except this is the number one thing. Okay, this is it. Right mindset attracts right network, creates right opportunities. Right mindset attracts right network, creates right opportunities. So all I do every day with these habits, these good habits and patterns, is it just builds my mindset. Impenetrable mindset, invincible mindset. All that does is attract the right people, like Richard, who wrote that really nice recommendation on my website. All that does is attract people like that, and that creates the right opportunities. So what is the byproduct of that? Because I have the right mindset that attracts the right network, which creates the right opportunities. What's the byproduct? Well, I haven't done outbound sales, calls, marketing gimmicks, funnels, all that junk. Haven't done that in years. I'll never have to again, because all it is I have the right mindset that attracts the right people, creates the right opportunities. I create the right value for the right people who get it, and then they create the right value by introducing me to other people who actually get it. Not time vampires, not wannabes, not cost scarcity nonsense. It's just highest level connectivity. And because I'm a simplifier, it's hard for me to understand why other people don't make it this simple. But they're either there's three types of people, right? There's simplifiers, which I am. Then there's multipliers. You know, take this and take a simple thing, and then there's complicators. Most people are complicators. They make things too complicated. I just make it as simple as possible, and then I just, to your point, I just do it. Like, I just live that. I don't just say it. I live it. And most people talk and they don't do anything about it. And it's just talk.
So you say the law of attraction.
Right. Magnet. All my company is a magnet for people like Richard. That's all it is.
Yeah, it's true, man. I love reading that statement. I was like, that is so good media. I'm becoming an author, and I put a lot of energy into writing, you know. So when I read that for me, that was like poetry written by somebody.
Well, he's a genius.
Yeah.
Somebody yeah, I don't even think he graduated college. He was a roadie for Motley Crue and Def Leppard. He's just a genius, right? The guy's a genius. And so all my brain does is attract geniuses like that. That's it.
Man, we are connected on Facebook also, and I really like your family picture, and I really respect that. You go all in, like that is like you have the costume on. And I like that so much.
The poop emoji one? Is it the poop emoji?
I have seen these pictures, man, and I love that, because that is thing that many maybe do wrong, you know, is that they I would say like this. If you go all in with business, you need to do it also with your family, I would say, because life is so short. And this is what I learned from my grandmother. Like, Something like she said, something like, my son, like you take one breath in, you live. You take one breath out and you're gone. Like, and that is how short life is, my friend.
Wow, that was very powerful. Email me that or put it in the chat. That was a good one.
Yeah. I'm gonna nugget it for you, and I will to my friend, I will do it on the nugget for one golden nugget that I mean that is people like us only. And that's an amazing network that I'm part of. And what we do is that we share nuggets. We write nuggets.
Oh, I've got so many nuggets because, and please send me that because I'll add it to my list of nuggets. And so all my first book is like 30 things I learned in the company's first 30 months. So someone would say a nugget, or I'd think of a nugget, and then that would become a chapter in the book. So I have about 20, since the book came out in May, I have a list now about 20 nuggets. That might be number 21.
You must make a nugget in my coming book, man. I have a website where you can share your nugget.
Well, here, so this is what I mean. Here, hold on. I'll read this to you. So here are the nuggets that one is you don't want to be the richest guy in the cemetery. That's one of them. Okay, here's another nugget. If you chase the money will outrun you. Good people tend to do good things together. The cream rises to the top. Mediocre people don't like high achievers, and high achievers don't like mediocre people. Does it charge my batteries or does it drain them? Digitize the transactional and humanize the exceptional. That's what I mean. I have like 20. Name your years. This is a good one. And this is similar to what your grandma said, I think.
Yeah, but her version was a longer. I just compress it, and this isn't the
good.
The
well, send it
version.
to me. Send it to me because that's a good, and I'll credit you.
But I will also send her little longer version, but because that is also a really good one. I just compress it, to minimize.
Well, good. Well, I appreciate that. So and I think this is another version of that. This is a good one. I had to think about it for a second, but then after a second, I'm like, oh, that's good. So people with great health have 100 goals. People with poor health have 1 goal. It's like, oh, that was a good one.
That was.
Yeah, it's good. Your mess becomes a message. All this stuff.
My brain went in all directions, right?
I know. Right. So that's my whole brain is when I hear something that's good, like what you just said with your grandma, I'm like, Otherwise, I'm just like, whatever. But then that's how my brain works with stories too. I can hear, talk to someone for an hour. Most of it doesn't resonate with what actually matters as a story. But when there's a ding, it's just ding, 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 ding.
I will share with you the version that she told me because you will love it. Good. Okay, good. Listen now. It was like this. I was passing really bad time, like economy was going down and everything like that. And I could never hide what I was feeling inside for my grandmother, right? So my mother was dead and my grandmother was like the center of the universe for us. So she kept us together. So we always went to her house. I was in a university like 8 hours away. So I came home, and I had my company running. I was studying at the same time, and she said something to me like this. She said, "What's wrong, my son? I see that not everything is okay." And then I like, grandmother, I don't want to bother you with my problems, but now that you asked me, I have to tell you that maybe things are not going so good, but don't worry, grandmother, because I always write them out. I already died 9 times. Actually, I had by then. It's like I passed my cat life long time ago, right? So I will come back on my feet, grandmother. Don't worry. So she just looked at me and she said to me like this: "How I wish I could be you at this moment, my son," she said. "Like, I'm soon dead. You have all these years ahead. So battle it out, my son, because you're still breathing," she said. "I believe in you." That was her ending. So that is the breathing thing that I just continue spinning on it when I realize that what am I complaining about? I'm breathing. Like, oh, Eduardo, you just lost all your money. You're still breathing, Eduardo.
Entrepreneur
like, shut up. Continue. Whatever. You knew the game when you entered here. You knew the rules. Like, Eduardo, don't, like you said, don't complain. Get in the game again. Like, throw down. You need to continue, my friend, because that is who you are. That's your nature. And when she told me that, for me, it changed my life. I can tell you that nugget that she told me, but it's more like a story. It changed my life. She said, you're still breathing. And then she opens with, I'm soon dead. How I wish I could. For me, that was like poetry. I was like
Yeah, it's beautiful.
hypnotized.
Yeah,
That
so
is the
battle it out.
long version.
Battle it out because you're still breathing. That's one. That's very, 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 very profound. And here's the other thing that you said, because I hear blah, blah, blah and simplify. It's a game. So now, if you're an employee, you don't make the rules. But if you're an entrepreneur, you make the game. You make the rules.
Yeah.
So if you make the game and you make the rules, then there's nothing to complain about. If you don't like the game or like the rules, just change the game and change the rules. Don't complain about it. It's your game. It's not someone else's game. So the game that I'm playing, this is my game with my rules. And if you don't want to play the game, I don't care, because it's my game. These are my rules. If you want to be a person that wants to play this game with my rules, then let's do it. If you don't, that's fine. Go play another game. I'm totally fine with that. But that's the point. There's nothing to complain about. It's your game. This is your life. This is your breathing. This is your battle. All that. So play the game by your rules and attract the other players that want to play the game with you.
Man, this was an amazing talk. I will do more than that, my friend. I will send you the book before it's even published.
Oh, thanks.
Because I would love to hear your thought on some of the nuggets that I'm bringing there. And like I said, it's I have opened up to my community to come with nuggets, that they want to share with me in the book. And then what I will do to credit everybody, because this is how I see it. A lot of the things that I learned was not because, Eduardo is so genius, he came up with all these conclusions, right? Most of what I learned was from trial and error, I would say.
Of course.
But I got advice from a lot of people that give me really good advices, I would say. Maybe I didn't listen in the beginning until I did the wrong. Then I listened. But the thing is that I grew with so many people that actually cared, And like you said, they were one of the 1,000. These were the people that I wanted to talk to, like you said, because that was the only person that I could understand me, and I could understand them. When I talk to other people, they're like, who are you?
No, they're humans. They're humans. You're not a human.
Yeah, thank you, man. I always felt
that was a compliment. Right.
Yeah, for
so
me,
people
it was
like
a
us. Right. So again, blah, blah, blah patterns. So all people like us are aliens within our own family, aliens within our own community, aliens within our own vertical. Nobody understands us except other aliens. So that's all my company is tens of thousands of aliens that understand me. And those people are the ones running the most coolest, the most successful companies on earth. They're developing the technology that's changing the world, or they're going to be one of those people. That's it. That's all it is. And I'm glad I found out. I was always an alien. I just didn't know that until I started my company. And so now I just hang out with other people that get it.
We should have like the alien club.
Good name.
I always felt strange, I would say, like, I don't know, like misfit or something like that.
Yeah, well, entrepreneurs are misfits. And so misfit's a good word because, so again, my father was 61 when I was born. He'd be 105 now. So I'm like a 75, 80-year-old soul, because I should have been born, in like the late 30s, early 40s. So old soul, 43-year-old body, and then I have the childish mentality, maybe of a 5-year-old, maybe a 4-year-old. Like I'm like a child. My wife, who's the nicest, most wonderful human ever, she says she has 3 sons, our 8-year-old and our 6-year-old, and then me, because I'm basically like a child. So pre-COVID, before you drop kids off at school or whatever, the parents gab or whatever, they blow. I don't even know what they're talking about, whatever. And I would just run around with my kids like a child, like a misfit. I was just running around because I'm like a child. And, we're just misfits, dude. And I've some of the most successful people in life, because that's who I talk to. If they're in their 50s or 60s or 70s or even 80s, they're like children inside. They have this endless happiness and misfitness. They're like silly little kids. And that's the key, is that they just enjoy all these silly things that they're doing. Oh, by the way, It's changing the world. By the way, it's incredibly profitable. By the way, they're creating this incredible network with other amazing misfits. So, but the key to that is they're little kids. They're not dead inside and bored with life. They're actually really enjoying life and enjoying all these opportunities, this abundant opportunities that are out there if you just actually know they're available. So that's what I see.
Yeah, you just said something interesting there, is that I always try to make my wife happy when she bring me to her friends to meet their husband and have this kind of barbecue, you know.
I know.
And I feel so strange every time. I don't know what to do. Like I panic. This is a true thing, you know. I panic. I don't know what to do because they're like,
right.
And then Eduardo, I take the highway, you know, and if you take this route, and I'm like, please, Lord, take me here.
Get me out of here. Yeah, right. Get me out.
Send me a UFO.
Okay. I know you're going to appreciate this. So if you put me in a party with regular people talking about regular things, I have the personality of a lamppost. You could put a lampshade on me and I would disappear because I have nothing to say and there's nothing of relevance that's important. I don't care. So I actually, because my wife she's the nicest person ever. She's a pediatrician. She's not an entrepreneur. I adore her more than anything in the world. And so I will pretend I'm someone else when she asks me to go out with her friends. I'll just pretend I'm someone else because that's really the only way I can do it. Because otherwise, this type of directness does not go well with regular human beings. It just doesn't. It's a different language. It's just a different language. And so I will, because I love my wife, I will do it for her. And it's very important for her, so I'll do it. And so I'll add this too, is that my wife and I are a really good match, right? She would be number 1 on empathy out of 34. I'm 34 out of 34. So she's made me just barely a human. Barely, just barely, some sort of social skills, some. And she won't let me, and I thank God for this every day, she won't let me become one of those entrepreneurs that doesn't put family first. She won't allow it. She's so grounded. And in my book, I dedicated only to her, not even my kids. And then I've made her more of a risk taker, made her enjoy life more because she grew up incredibly conservative, no risks. And so now I've made her, more of a risk taker, which she's thanked me for.
Can I share the fishing picture with you and the children and her, because it's such a beautiful picture, man.
Yeah.
I love that picture with the audience.
Sure.
1 second here.
I thought you were going to share the poop emoji Halloween.
That image is so beautiful. Like I said, I'm like you. Like I cherish my family and my weekend with going out with the kids and doing, because my wife has her back damage, so she can't always follow us, so I have to. Yeah, this is the picture, man. I love this picture, man. That is so beautiful.
So that's my surprisingly normal wife and my 2 amazing children who are half empathetic and then half visionary wackadoo like me. And the guy who's standing, he's already started his first business, and my sweet little koala bear, Chase. Here's Chase in a nutshell. Sweetest, snuggly little kid, wants to be a Navy SEAL. And if I try to give my wife a kiss, he will come over and punch me as hard as he can between my legs.
I've been punched everywhere by my shirt. I can't even go near my wife.
Right.
Anyway, my little daughter, she's 3 years old. You have seen her picture. She's like an idiot. She come and kick me in the
Very Oedipal right now. And boy, I'm hoping that stage goes away, because I do like to just hug my wife because I love her so much. But man, I'm not risking personal. Yeah, see, you got crying. I'm not.
Yeah, now my son.
I love it. Keep the crying going.
Yeah, it's part of life now when you have the home studio, right? For me, it's the first time I panicked a little bit because I was like, what people, and then what are you? How can you be ashamed of your own humanity? It's part of life, it's your child. Come on. So then I just dropped it, It's like, okay, sorry, my kid is just doing his thing. So, and everybody will just, yeah, okay. Nobody
Yeah.
will complain. And if somebody would complain, I would say that's a person you don't want to be with,
No,
right?
no, you don't want to. No. So I was giving a keynote speech to some high-level entrepreneurs around the world, and my wife was at work doing her doctor stuff, and so I can barely take care of myself, let alone my two sons. And so I was on a Zoom call with all these people, and my sons were attacking each other with a real hammer, a real one in the background, a real one. And they didn't get hurt, thank God. But everybody loved it. Everybody, and I was laughing because I'm like, this is, and the little guy was chasing the big guy with a hammer, not a rubber pan, like a metal one. And so after that, I screen grabbed it with the little, posted on social media because I thought it was hilarious. And then the CEO of the company, and one of the companies, he's like, bring out the hammer. And everybody was laughing because, like, that's life, man. And crying, kids attacking each other with hammers, glass. I've had glasses break in the background. I had doors slamming. Let's see. Had the dog poo on the floor in the background. No one saw that, but that did happen. Like, oh, the dog pooed in the floor. So it is what it is, man. Figure it out. Again, there's no excuses. So I just think it's actually really funny what's happened with that, because now people are actually being humans as opposed to faking what's really going on.
That is what I like so much.
Right.
My friend, this was an amazing talk, and we're closing now the hour. Like, how can people reach you the best way? Like website or LinkedIn or Facebook? What should we share with the audience?
Happy to land the plane. So here's the book. There it is. Okay. Epic Business. Chris Voss, who wrote Never Split the Difference, which is one of the top business books in the last 20 years. He did the foreword. So a lot of people write books and they're meaningless because there's no meaning behind them. So Chris Voss doing the foreword provided meaning, and then it's an international bestseller in 6 countries, #1 for entrepreneurship in the U.S. So it's provided a lot of value and helped a lot of people. So, and then LinkedIn, Justin Breen on LinkedIn. And oh, look at this.
There it is, the man.
There's me skydiving. Yay. And then my company, which we never talk about, it's hilarious because what's the point? It's called Brepic. Brepic is the company. Ooh, look at this slide down. Nice. Oh, yeah, there's Brepic. Let's see.
There it is.
I'll be curious to see. I'll be curious to see if that actually goes to the website.
No, I have to change the tab. One second.
Yeah, this is great. I've never actually done this before.
Now we'll share the correct one. 1 second. I really love that website.
Oh, you do? Thanks.
Yeah, I'm the design. Like I said, if you check what people credit me for one is entrepreneurship. I have like the highest. Then the second would be like design UX, I think, and then the third is front-end or something like that. Yeah. Because that's what I've done like most of my life, is that I love to build amazing products, and I would say like I love the craftsmanship of building an amazing experience. That it's done with all the heart. It's like not holding back. I love that. So I really like this, because what this does is that for me, that is like, I would say, even if I will not know so much about design that I do, I would say it touches me directly with emotions. I would say.
Oh, thanks.
I feel like, I want to be there. Like, I want to go there. That's a nice studio.
Well, thanks. Well, here, so there's a lot of text there. If you go up, I'll tell you the one thing. There are 2 things I like about it. So here, premium PR and life-changing connections exclusively for visionaries and exceptional businesses. That's it. There's nothing else besides that. And then if you go down even a little further, the 4 circles, keep going. Right there. There's my company's entire process. No secrets. That's it. That's what my company does.
I like this. I like that. This is what I say. Look at the details. I love these details. Like, and then also,
right.
Who did this website?
Someone I paid a good deal of money for, because it was a good investment.
I would say that you did a really good investment there. Even whatever you paid, it paid off, because, like I said, right. I'm the expert when it comes to this kind of stuff, and I would say, big stamp, approved. I liked it a lot. Awesome. It's the details, man. It's the details. I love this.
Thanks,
details.
Man. Yeah, go for it. There's all sorts of fun stuff on there.
Oh my God, I like this so much, man.
Right.
Thank you.
Oh, you want to know another little detail there? Go up with all the. Yeah, those are all mine. So right above the logos, keep going. Go down, 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 down. Okay, what does it say after BREPIC in the blue words?
Partners.
Yeah, it doesn't say clients. It says partners. Big difference.
Yeah.
Partnership.
Words matter, and that is the thing that I'm preaching now. I'm going to help this big company with doing this kind of stuff. So that is something that I told we had a session. I said, words, everything matters. Like the design matters, the word matters, like everything matters, the code matters. If you don't care about the details, please don't work. Like, I don't want to work, you know. You need to care about everything, because that is what I do. I'm expecting everybody to do that also. Like, why should we else unite for a great mission? You know, like, what is the point if we don't want awesomeness? Like, what is the point? Like my grandmother said,
it's
why
pointless.
do you breathe? Why do you breathe? Like, why do you take up air, space, and time if you don't want to go the extra mile?
Right, so it's pointless. There's no point.
There's no point. Thank you so much, my friend. This was an amazing talk, and thank you for all the connections. Like, you are the super connector. I can testify to that, my friend.
Thank you.
You are amazing. So,
great talk.
Anything last you want to say to the audience? Some nugget or something?
Yeah. So the first line in my book is, if you're someone who who does not put your family first, please put the book down. I can't help you. So.
I love that one. Okay, this is what we will do. I would love you to come back for my April special. It's called Meet the Author. And then we will talk more about the book journey, and like, what did you learn from writing the book?
Mm-hmm.
Did you discover something new about yourself, maybe? Because that is what
Yes.
I have done writing the book, actually. I
did.
Don't say that, because
I'm
we
not
need
going
that for
to.
that episode. Good,
But
good,
I already
good.
know the answer, Eduardo. I already know them.
So let's do like this. Say hi to your beautiful family. And if I pass there, I will visit you for sure.
Thank you. I really appreciate this interview. This was great.
Thank you, my friend. I appreciate, because when you say something, you mean it. So I really appreciate that. We will be seeing each other, Eduardo.live. Thank you, Justin. I dropped the mic that I don't have, so I just do like this. Wow.
Go Norway. Go Norway.
Go Norway. Thank you.
Make the change, rearrange, and life seems strange, but you gotta keep your aim, stay focused on the game, don't quit. Quitters never win, winning all begins when you begin to believe in yourself again.